When I read this New York Times article, I texted another mom who is raising a neurodivergent child and said, maybe I should submit an article that's titled, "I've literally spent the last 3 years rolling around like a dog." Why would I put that as an article title? Because in order to support my son's nervous system and connect with him in ways that were not verbal in nature, I needed to play and pretend to be a dog, and that was the conduit back to connection after my son stopped eating, speaking, or walking because of nervous system burnout as a PDA autistic child. So there's a couple counterpoints I want to make, especially for parents who are raising children who are anxious, highly sensitive nervous systems, neurodivergent, or have a history of trauma, because play is actually incredibly important to support your connection and the well-being of your child. Okay? So first, what does play do? It allows us to signal safety without depending on verbal communication, okay? So I like to think of this as like mammal to mammal signaling, my tone of voice, my expression, my movements in order to signal my nervous system is safe with another's, okay? Second, it's the behavior of equality, right? So if I'm on the ground rolling around with my son, we're equal to one another. And instead of acting like a parent who's like, hey, go play independently, which you can't do still, there's an energy of equality which prevents his nervous system from perceiving threat. Okay, the next point, the third point, is that play is actually a hybrid state, meaning it is sympathetic and parasympathetic, and sympathetic has some activation of fight flight. So if you have a child with a sensitive nervous system or neurodivergence and they more easily tip into like manic or meltdown, which many of our children do, we as parents may need to be there scaffolding and supporting and co-regulating them through learning how to play so that they're not tipping over into meltdown or manic behavior. Finally, I think play is a phenomenal way to observe your child and learn them. Because if you can't depend on talking or activities or puzzles or, reading books, which many of us can't do, and we have children with nervous systems that don't actually allow them to play independently, this may be a conduit into supporting them, right? And this can look in all different ways. It can be pure sensory play where they're jumping on the trampoline or a bed and you're just throwing stuffies at them, to sitting next to them and playing Minecraft and entering into their world, to rolling around on the floor like a puppy, which is what I did for 3 years.